Late in the game against the Jets, TJ came in for a few running plays. The first one is this one lined up against 12 personnel. Eagles in an over formation. He's got responsibility for the A gap. Now, as they are running to the opposite side of him here, you'll notice that the guard who's coming out to block him is over pursuing a little bit for the A gap. So he takes the backside of him with a good swipe there, coming in to make the tackle. Solid first rep. And once again, the next rep against 12 personnel, responsible for the C gap here to the backside. You'll notice they're running away from him once again here. Stays at depth, and that allows him, as everything here becomes a clusterfuck, it allows him to come back without having too much contact on the blocker to stay in position to make a tackle had to come to him. Next game against the Vikings, getting some valuable snaps in the fourth quarter. This time in base, so you got 3 linebackers on the field going up against 22 personnel, 2 running backs, 2 tight ends. And you'll notice that they're running it to the weak side here with the fullback lead. So what you want is TJ to fill the outside of the fullback, Sack to fill the inside of the fullback. Now TJ does that tremendously as he's coming up here, violently engaging on number 30, stocking him up, and that creates the little gap in between here for Sack to actually take over that. Although TJ comes in and makes that tackle himself. Next rep, it's 13 personnel, 1 running back, 3 tight ends. The Eagles are playing cover 3 coverage, and all linebackers are biting on the play action. As they've been taught, you see this with every linebacker in Eagles defense, they're taught to just turn and run and look for anyone going into the vicinity of your zone. So TJ is going to look back here. He's going to look for the hook to curl to the weak side over here. So he's relating to the wide receiver who's obviously just going deep. So it's okay what he does, although biting on the play action. As the game progressed into the fourth quarter, the Vikings kept running in heavy formations. Here's the 22 personnel, 2 running backs, 2 tight ends. And the Eagles actually had 4 linebackers on hill, which is something you rarely see. But the responsibility of the fullback here. So run play again relating to the fullback. So you have Sack who's going on the outside relation to the fullback. He doesn't do that too bad. TJ relates to the inside of him. Gary has the outside most of the tight end over here, and Kamaguchi Hill is filling. So as the run back as the fullback is coming out to the outside, notice that TJ stays at depth, keeps scraping over there to find the space and come in and make the tackle on the inside of the fullback as he should. So we got to see him play in the box in this game. We also got to see him play outside the box. So he's right here. He's the outside most linebacker playing in man coverage. It was cover 0 at this point. So his first responsibility is the man on the receiver in case he runs her out. Now he's reading the play through the receiver. So he's keeping an eye on the inside here, reading that it is in fact a run. Coming up on the receiver and disengaging him, getting in there to make the tackle. And it's basically the same thing we got going on here. The backside wing is going to motion out. TJ comes out with him. And the same thing here. First responsibility is the man coverage on the receiver. Comes up on him, reads it's a run. Good disengage on him. So he's able to come in there and support the run if it had been necessary. 22 personnel one more time. Lined up as the will linebacker on this play. And as they're motioning their guy out, he will play out of fit. So he would essentially have the backside here. So in essence, it'll be the D gap outside most of the tight end. So he's just flowing with the play, having the backside if the running back is going to cut back, which he in fact does in this play, and he comes up and make a good tackle. 22 personnel one more time. This time Vikings are running a play action, and you have TJ as the outermost guy as well here. He will be having man on whatever comes first out here. It does a good job of tracking the fullback who's coming out there. So Kirk Carson doesn't have the easy check down after the play action, just thrown into the flat. So that's good coverage. So here, once again, we're having 22 personnel, big package. And Vikings are running a fullback lead power. So the right guard here is going to come over to this side. He will lead the running backs is coming out there. Now TJ does a good job of recognizing the fullback is going to come up the middle here. He has the inside of him, while I think it's Malcolm Jenkins playing the outside. And he notices that the blocker is coming out here, the pulling guard. Now he's a little bit too hesitant on this, so he ends up being pancaked on the play. So he's in the right position, but has to take on that blocker. Next up, we got the Dallas Cowboys, and a lot more playing time. This game started off with a real bang. So we're coming in 21 personnel to begin with, and it's a fullback lead up the middle. And TJ relates to the fullback really nicely as he should, scrapes to the line, and then as soon as he sees the fullback commit, that's when he comes up and hitting him with real power, basically taking him out the play, still having the awareness to get out the block, make the tackle on Ezekiel Elliott. Strong play. Fullback lead, once again to the weak side. And we got the fullback coming out here, which would be split by Kamagrusha Hill and TJ Edwards. Now, when we're running over here, Nate Gary would have the play side A gap, and Malcolm Jenkins would be the responsible fill guy. And as we're playing it here, you see TJ coming over nicely to begin with. He realized the fullback coming out there and helping out Camus. So they're playing the play side fullback nicely. Nate Gary has to come over to the play side A gap right there, but he gets caught up with Zach Martin. So there's a big cutback lane for Ezekiel Elliott to come back in here. He goes face up against Malcolm Jenkins, runs him over, and that's a touchdown. So a lot of movement in this play. First coming out 20 personnel, flexing out to a 12 personnel instead. Eagles in an over formation. TJ knows that he has the responsibility for the A gap here. But what he does really well is he notices the polar to begin with. So he's coming up as if this was run, playing the run first. Realizes that it was play action, dropping back as we saw. This time keep an eye on the quarterback instead of turning, so a little bit different from what we saw the other time. Throws the ball immediately. Here's a lot of movement, and Ezekiel ultimately drops the ball. So takeaways from that, it was a good read of the pull. Triggered nicely as he saw the ball being released from Dak Prescott. Could have been there a little bit more fluid in this movement. Play action bootleg from the Cowboys here, and you see the entire Eagles defense get caught up in the play action as they stood. It's a good fake here, so the linebackers will get bit up by it. Now notice the defense in the difference in transition between Kamagrusha Hill here and TJ Edwards in their hip turn. You see TJ planting that right leg, and he's moving. Camus, there's a lot of false steps right there, and that's going to be important at the end of this play. Now, TJ is moving his zone, and while the quarterback is moving to one side, he limits it to half the field. So you want to move your initial hook to curl zone a little bit more to the outside. Does that well. He's taking away Jason Witten right here. And as you see, the lack of hip turn there from Grusha Hill is creating a little bit of separation in between these two guys. So the underneath coverage is not as tight as you want it, and that allows the completion. This time getting a little bit lost in the traffic. Once again, they use a 12 personnel where they're gonna counter this ish. So you're gonna have the fullback release up to the weak side, but then initially go to the strong side. Now TJ notices that he's going this direction, so he's shooting up that way. Now as soon as they're going back the other way, TJ is still moving a little bit to this side, so you get a little bit lost in there. Now it's a good recovery, um, getting over there a little bit, but ultimately he's supposed to be in the inside of the fullback as he's making that cut up the middle. This is a phenomenal play design from Dallas. The entire game they've been showing this 21 personnel running it to the weak side with the fullback lead. Now this time what they're going to do is they're going to let the fullback go up the middle, and they know the Eagles linebackers are playing the fullback when they're playing the run. They does as well at this time, but they are pulling both guards to the outside this time. And what is going to happen for Dallas to make this play successful? Sack is going to get out there on Jalen Mills to create the outside contain there, and the backside guard needs to get to the outside of Nate Gary. Now to do that, you're going to need Nate to pull or to bite up to the fullback, which he exactly does. You see the fullback coming up here, both TJ really into the outside, Nate really into the inside. So the backside guard has the step on him while Sack is getting out there. Now notice the block shed that TJ has on the fullback to get out there. That's a beautiful swim move to get over there. Now you're going to see this is the exact setup that they want. That's a beautiful lane for Ezekiel to run in, and that's just a good run design, manipulating how the Eagles are playing run defense. 3rd and 1, QB sneak up the middle, let him there, Mike linebacker, good push, good timing to get in there on the line, and force the 4th down, along with the defensive lineman. 4th and 1, Cowboys rushing to the line, and you can tell that TJ is expecting this to be a running play up the middle. How you can see that he's cheating a little bit over to the weak side, where the entire line is zone blocking too. So he's a little bit late while Ezekiel is already accelerating to the outside, which he has back out the backfield on. So the result is that he's a little bit late to get out there, and Cowboys end up picking up the 1st down. There's no need to go in detail about this play. This is just terrible pursuit from the entire team, as well as TJ Edwards, who, just a bad play. Simple zone left here. Eagles lined up in an over formation, and TJ has the backside B gap right here. Relates to that nicely. He has the B gap. Mills needs to crash more on this end of the 1st down. Zone to the left side with a fullback lead. TJ initially has the A gap, but is of course relating to the fullback as the Eagles linebackers do. So as they're coming out to the outside, he's just relating to the inside of him at all times, wanting Camus to relate to the outside. Now as Ezekiel is cutting back, TJ gets a little bit out of balance, but he catches him more than tackles him, goes for a little ride there. Once again, here Eagles lined up in over formation against 12 personnel. TJ is shooting the B gap nicely, coming up there, making a tackle. Good bend, just a terrific play. Cowboys in 13 personnel here, running a zone to the left side. Eagles in over formation. TJ has the A gap right here. Does a good job relating to that, staying at depth of Sack, who's over pursuing it, so he wanted to go ass side. Now, Kamugu Hill is getting destroyed by the tight end here, and is ultimately going to get blocked into TJ, who does a good job here of block shedding Sack Martin. See, Sack's going right, he's going ass side. It's good block shed, but Camus is getting blocked into TJ, so he can't make the tackle. Beautiful, Camus. Good job. Against 12 personnel here, has responsibility of the A gap. Comes up with a nice block defeat on Zach Martin, and even though this is a tough angle to make a tackle on Ezekiel Elliott, has to make it. He's in position to do it, although it is a tough situation, but he attacked the gap, he beat the block, gotta make it.